This happens sometimes, and it happened again. I hope you all find me again. Went off, and now it's back. So if you're on the Apothecary, then I'm going to warn you. I'm going to go over there and say hi. We had a glitch. I had a bunch of nice people studying, and they're not here because the thing went wrong. But I will find it. This happens sometimes when I'm doing live video here on Facebook. Although I do like to do it on Facebook, I think sometimes, I don't know, Facebook kind of glitches on me when I do it. Let me see who you guys are. Hi, welcome to the Master Apothecary. All right. All right. Well, it is what it is. I put it up. Hope you find me again. Otherwise, you'll find me later. So there was a glitch, and I'm here, and I see one of you found me. So I hope the rest of you do. Brenda, I'm here. I know you were watching. Anyway, so we were looking at the star card from the Thoth deck. Let me get a better one up than I had. I didn't like that one. Okay, this is good. And once again, I was saying before, real easy to just like look at stuff online and try to inhale. Sometimes I find, I know that's why I'm talking. Hi, Tammy. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's Facebook sometimes that does that. It just sort of goes black. I get a black screen and then the thing disappears. Although they can let me talk for hours sometimes. I don't know. Whatever. That's the Facebook. All right. So, yeah, Brenda went off to go to do something at work, but she'll find her way back in. And Erica, too, I hope. Erica. Anyway, so that's the star card. I won't get thrown by Facebook, I promise. All right, so there it is. Hi, Brenda. Sorry about that. We glitched. I think Facebook did a thing. So we're back. We're in the star card. You can just, it's the same thing. We're just picking up where I left off. So if this is that card, I sent you that link. Nah, you didn't do it. I think Facebook just, sometimes for some reason, it just shuts you off. So although I think I like Facebook way better as a live event than I do YouTube. I don't like to be on YouTube for live events. That does weirder things. But this is a new technology, and we're lucky to have it. So I'm glad we're here. So anyway, star card, Thoth deck. Similar symbology, right? We have the cup, we have the water, or something, some magical substances coming out of her. She's sort of Picasso-esque. Yeah, right? She's sort of Picasso-y. And sort of like that kind of, you know, sort of movement of art. And it's really interesting. I love her. Look at her pouring up and down her goods onto the earth. So what does this card mean? I'm going on showing you the picture. Well, it means just that. It means either yourself or someone else is pouring their goodness. And a lot of times if you're reading for a person who's sometimes in the health fields, this card will come up quite a lot because this is what they do. You know, or if you're doing Reiki or magic, or you're doing meditative work, or even if you're a yoga instructor, any of those things, or even if you're a performer that can work, you're pulling something from the universe and putting it out for people to ingest, take in, heal from. So that card comes up a lot. And it sometimes means a person, or it could be in a situation. And that's going to be made more clear when we get done with, maybe today we'll talk a little bit about that. Done with looking at these cards and get more into laying out these cards. You can read, if you go through the series with me and you take the cards that we've done thus far and just pull them out of your deck, you can start to read for people and or yourself with just the cards you know. You can actually read with one card. You probably see this online. If you're interested in tarot, you get a card of the day. That's just generic, but you can pull your own card of the day and take a look at it. And you can just, I would suggest if you're a new person, new at tarot, that you just look at the ones that you're studying, and that's it. Only those. And then we go on and on and on. We will find this major arcana is the thickest and deepest part of the tarot because it is all based on several things. The Kabbalah, which is ancient Hebrew mysticism, also ancient Egyptian magic, Mesopotamian magic, and other magical systems like the OTO, where Aleister Crowley came from, and even old ancient Italian magic and systems. So it's a thick study. I'm saying before, it's not something that you learn real quick, but I think the more you do it and the more you read, the better you get at it and the more you understand it. And it really does help you in life. And I would suggest just go slow, read, explore. There's this one guy on YouTube, how I love. I think he's the funniest thing, and I don't know how he does what he does. He's called Tyler's Tarot, Tyler. He's a little over the top, and he's young, so I'll warn you, he curses a lot, and he's very funny. But for some reason, he is capable of reading an entire signs month through the tarot. And if you're interested in seeing, not that it's always correct, just the way he reads, it's pretty cool. He'll throw cards and he knows exactly what they mean. He knows what they mean so clearly that he can do whatever he wants with them. And that really is the way we want to go with this. You want to become an expert if you want to read. And the only way to do it is slow and easy and study as much as possible. All right, so we're here, and thank you for being here, and that will help you learn. So we're going to put the moon card up from the Marseille deck. If you guys have it already, the deck's pulled out. Moon card. There it is. It's a pretty card. This is a pretty interesting card, and it really looks like it's era that it comes in. I love this card. This is such a pretty card. So I'll send you a little link, and it's got some information about the secret of the tarot. The secret. I love stuff like that. Oh, it's so frightening and secretive. Really, it's not. Okay, so here's my card. So interesting, you have the water beneath, and you have something that looks like it could be a crab, a lobster, a scorpion, a water creature, something rising, because the moon is there pulling up the tides. And then you have these wolves or dog things howling at the moon. There they are. Again, and this is a very important thing that happens over and over through the tarot, is you have two towers. This is because in the Kabbalah, and I'll spell that. I'm actually going to type it so you can look it up. The Hebrew mystic Kabbalah, there's a tree of life, and in the tree of life, there are two pillars and one above it. That's how this is exactly the layout of the Hebrew tree of life, the Kabbalic tree of life. So it's the same shape. So this moon is feminine. Moon is always feminine. Why is she feminine? Well, she's feminine for several reasons. The moon is feminine because she rules water, and water is a feminine, not female, but feminine element. Also, her silver color is considered feminine. Gold is masculine, as the sun is gold. The moon is silver. And also, she appears in the sky as full and new throughout the year 13 times. And women menstruate 13 times. So they are associated with the moon. The moon is associated with women and feminine bodies. And also our bodies being full of water. All right, so the moon card, that's in the Marseille. The sun's coming right behind it. Moon of ladies first, of course. This is the moon card in Rider-Waite. And if you want to look that up, I don't want to waste time clicking around, but I'll show it to you in my hand. So this is the moon card in the Rider-Waite. And again, the two pillars and the same exact shape. So that hasn't changed, even though these are a more updated version of the old cards. And there are older cards than the Marseille, by the way. And I have them up in the previous lectures, so you can take a look at those, and I can bring them back again. Or if you want to see them, let me know, and I will direct you towards them. They're like the oldest tarot. And by the way, there's something called the Tarot Encyclopedia, which is like a little expensive, and I bought it anyway. There's like 3 volumes, and it's like $150, but it is so cool. If you really love tarot and you want to just poke through pages and pages full of history and information on this beautiful subject, I would suggest you do it. The Tarot Encyclopedia. All right, so that's the same meaning, the same look. What this means is, and there's that same lobster thing, the stuff is rising from the depths, and we're relying upon our intuition, our female and our male intuition. That's what this means. Listening to dreams, listening to the inner voice, which is what the goddess is in us all, the inner voice, the closed secret place. yin, the darkness, the womb, listening to that place for answers. That's the moon card. The Thoth card gets very Egyptian on us. Crowley loved Egyptian thought and Egyptian magic. And so here we go. The moon has all sorts of Egyptian symbology in it. It still has a little, like a creature on the bottom, but that is not a water creature. That's a scarab, a dung beetle on the bottom. And he has the Eye of Thoth on the top, sort of in a spooky kind of filmy way, bringing down wisdom. That's the moon. And the Eye of Thoth, the Eye of Truth. And on either side, he has Anubis. It's the god of death. So again, listening to that inner secretive place, the place inside of us all that knows the answers to all of our questions, and listening to the feminine voice, intuition, higher self. That's what this means. Okay, so 18. We're up to 18. This is hard. You know, it's a lot of information, and I've been doing this now for 3 months. This is the 4th month, and it's quite an undertaking, and I'm glad to be doing it. It's really kind of great to like put my thoughts about this on video and have people, thank you so much, to participate with me. I love it. Learning and spreading information. I love that. So here's the Sun card. Again, if you want to click on a link, I will look around on the internet right now for the Marseille, M-A-R-S-E-I-L-L-E deck. You can. And numbers in the tarot mean things as well. I mean, this is not a study of numerology, but we could throw a little bit into it. 18 in Hebrew thinking is chai, which is the number of life. And it is life and luck. And it is, in a way, true, because this number, if you add 1 and 8 together, you get 9. 9 is the number of the goddess, and or a finish of a decade, 1 to 10, 1 to 9, and then you go back to 0. You just throw a 1 in front of it. So this is the end of something. This is the end of a series in the cards too. You'll see we're getting to the very end here, and this is the end. This is the second part of the beginning, the end, beginning of the third part of the end. So the Sun. Interesting to have little babies hanging out and playing in the sun, and there's the sun. I have a tattoo that looks just like that. The sun above them both, throwing its rays down upon them. All right, so the Sun card means new beginnings. That's why there's babies. New babies riding on into life, new beginnings. Here's the Rider-Waite deck version of the same card. And this has a lot of sun symbology. You have the big, pretty sun, and you have sunflowers, okay? And that red banner of life, that means rebirth, life and passion and rebirth. And there's the baby on his white horse, full of innocence, but yet power and physicality. Again, it means new beginnings, beginnings of a new thing, an engagement. If you're reading for somebody about romance, a new job, a new home, a move, a change, something brand new. As the Tower, we started with the Tower, breaking things down. Now we are in the process of rebirth. After we've gone into our sort of, had asked for help from the universe through the star card, now we've gotten information from our internal self about what we want, and we're following our intuition, and now we're going to bring it forth because we're ready to dance in the sun. All right, so that's that. Here's just a quick look at the, see, Tammy, that happens to me too. I don't know, Facebook is weird. I don't know. We do our best with what we have. That's what we can do. So here's the Thoth deck. Cool, right? It's like the sun. You're like looking directly into that sun, and you have these little angels coming out of the sun, almost like the sun is the eye of God. So it all means the same thing. It's the same thing. You see it. You can see it when you look at the picture. You're like, oh yeah, that looks like a new happy day. Sunrise, little babies all around, little children, angels. And he also uses, in this case, every symbol of the astrology. It's hard for you to see. I hope you can find a link to this one. If you can, please do, because we have every sign of the zodiac around this middle. We have from Leo to, and it goes all the way around, Gemini, all the way around. Every sign is there. That's right. The all-seeing eye, Ra, right? This is it, the sun god, Ra, the sun god. And there it is. Beautiful. So that's a great card. That's a really beautiful card. Maybe because I'm a Leo. I like fun things. All right. All right, we're up to 20. After this is one more. So this is an important card. And this comes up, I find this card comes up so often, perhaps because when people come for readings, they come for readings when they're in a pressure situation. A lot of times they're being evaluated in some way, or going for a job interview, or starting a new relationship, or thinking about marriage or children. That's when people generally will come for readings, when they're at a transitional phase in their life, that stuff they just either know and they want to hear about, or they got to figure out. So this is the card 20, and this is the Marseille, and this is Judgment. This is like the final judgment day in the apocalypse. You have the Gabriel blowing his horn. Hey guys, get out of the grave. It's time to rise up. Blow, Gabriel. There it is. All right, it's pretty simple to see, and this means good judgment. These guys coming out of the grave, well, they're going with Gabriel, right? They're not going anywhere else. Nobody else came to get them but the angel. Yay for them. So they're going up to heaven. Okay, Judgment Day is good for them. So that's what that is going on in that. And here again, this is a much more involved version of the same card. Here's Gabriel. Once again, he's much more fancy. And he's raising a lot more people, but that's it. They're rising up. You see that they're ghosts or wraiths, and that they are gray colored. They're not in the body, right? They're souls who have been waiting in purgatory to be risen by God to his heaven, by his angel Gabriel, calling them forth. We know this stuff, right? With the fiery wings. This is right out of the Bible, right? So what does this mean? This is like, what? What are we doing with this stuff? What's with that? Well, let me get here first. So we'll look at this one. So here's Crowley's Thoth card. And this is an interesting card. It's again very Egyptian. He calls it the Aeon, or the end of the age. So at the end of the age, at the end of your age, you will be judged. At the end of your age, being your life, your body, your time on earth in this body. It's showing not only the being itself, but it's showing what's inside of him. And it's also a beautiful card in that on the bottom, I'll try to put that closer, you see all the little souls he's been in the past being reincarnated. So this is a card about not only just, it's not just rising from the dead and being judged fairly, but it's also about being judged fairly, so that in your next life, you are in a higher state than in this one. So yeah, the Aeon. Again, beautiful Hebrew, and it's got a triangle on the bottom there, which is also just meaning fire. That's a symbol of fire and magical thought. So what does this mean, this card? Well, it means it's the completion of something in a good way. You're being judged fairly. You're being judged well for your efforts in life, in your, say, job, in your relationship, as a parent, whatever it is you're reading about, that you're being judged well. That the eye of Thoth has weighed your sins and benefits in life and has found you not lacking, and that you are going to be given great karma and you're on the right path and things are really, really good for you. So when those come up and are reading, that's a great thing. When people see that, they're very happy. All right. So, yes, 21, the last card. Well, see, now this is the debate of tarot. Is this the last card, or is the Fool the last card? This is the last card. The Fool is the last card before the beginning is the beginning. So this is a cycle of life. If you look at your tarot cards and go through this whole thing, I said this in the first one. The Fool is the baby soul taking on incarnation and going through these 21 phases of things, from becoming, incarnated in the body, to going through trials, to understanding the physical parts of themselves, both masculine and feminine desires and powers, to becoming, something that is, you go through things like the Hierophant, which you are becoming kind of like fitting in with social expectations, and then going through getting rid of those, becoming a mentor and growing up, having great loss, and then rebirth again. So it's about how many times in our life do we go through those cycles. Sometimes you can go through one of those cycles in a day, okay, or an hour or a minute. So it could be a whole lifetime that you go through these 21 phases. It could be anything. It could be, again, 21 is the number of days in a lunar cycle. So it has to do with from new moon to full moon as well, and back again. So that's part of what ancient people used to tell time was the moon and when she showed her face and when she was dark. So that was a 21 days cycle. So that's part of it too. So this is the last, but we'll talk about the full when I get done with this a little more. So this is the world in the Marseille, and you have in the four corners cute little pictures. So the circle is a wreath, and wreaths always represent the female womb, the entrance to the womb, the yoni, they call it, or the vagina, whatever way you want to see it. And this little baby soul is in there, either cooking up in the womb, getting ready to be reborn again, or in the grave, or just a thought, in creative thought. It's potential. And in the four corners, you have a little bull, a lion, an eagle, and you have a little angel. So those four things are the four cardinal points of the astrology wheel. You have the angel is, that's Aquarius. The eagle is Scorpio. The bull is Taurus, and the lion is Leo. There's earth, air, fire, and water, all four elements balanced here. Yeah. All right. So here we go. This is the Rider-Waite, and it's the same, pretty much the same. I really haven't changed it too much, right? They redrew it, but it's the same idea. You have the four quarters. You have the angel. In this case, whenever you see an angel in these things that has sort of a, and that, I guess that goes for the star card too, you don't see the genitals, so you don't know what it is. It could be male, it could be female. And in several cards, we've talked about these wands that these beings hold. In this case, she has two, or he has two, and they are in balance. Sometimes it's a magical staff. Sometimes it's a king holding his, his stick with his cross on top of it. Sometimes it's a long book, like the Torah in one of them. But in this case, it is balanced. So before birth, we are perfect. When we are all within the universe, when we are in potential, which is what our spirit is, then everything is good. We are in balance. All is well. So that's that. And then, just for fun, this card is pretty good. Again, you can look these up and investigate them. I didn't want to waste time clicking around. But here we go again with those four quarters, the same symbols, although they're funnier. We have the bull and the lion, and they're all streaming light out of their mouths. And you have this dancing snake around this being, which is formless, again, within the womb, waiting for birth, or coming back to the all, coming back to the universe, coming back to us where we are, all one within the everything. Beautiful. So when you get this card up on a reading, you can tell somebody that, or you can say it's a completion, a finish, a rest time, a finish, or a place of gestation. So if I got that card and I was reading somebody who was thinking about a business, say, and then I would say, well, this is perfect, but it's going to take you a little longer. You're in gestation. It's a time of waiting. It's a time of preparation. It's a time of getting your stuff together. You are pregnant. This is potential greatness. This is potential real life and success, but you have to wait and make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. And that's what that world card means. Although it is saying to us also, it's coming. Oh, it's for sure coming. You're definitely getting that thing, whatever it is that you're looking for. So let me touch briefly on the Fool card. I like to use the Rider-Waite in this case because this is easy to see. So after we're in the World card, now we're in the Fool, and we're reborn. So some people take this as the end of the cycle because now we're reborn again and we have to do the whole thing over. Or some people say, well, this is the very beginning, because when he jumps off that cliff, he is now in the body. And right now he's still spirit, forming himself into the body. That is why there is so much green on him and flowers, and why he carries the sack of karma on his back. If you look at that closer, when you look at your deck, you can see that many people believe that there are astrological symbols on that, or a symbol of his last life on that. And again, the white flower again represents innocence. And you have his spirit animal there, or his animus, his own body, dog representing his body, representing corporal body. So there's the Fool. And that we come back to the beginning. Yay! I did it. We did it. So I have 15 minutes. If anybody has a question, now's a good time to ask it, or not, or just jump in and ask at any point. Let's just briefly talk about reversals, and then I'll go and talk about readings. So whatever card we have, yay is right, right? Can you believe it? I finished the whole 21 of these. There's more coming. There's 4 suits of minor arcana. Next month I'll start, on pentacles. Those are they're a little easier. They're straight up easy to understand. These are really up to you as far as their interpretation. Although they seem simple, they're really kind of not. It all depends on the person. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, look up as much as you like. I mean, take your time and look at the major arcana, M-A-J-O-R, major arcana, A-R-C-A-N-A. You can see that is on the name of this video. And try to take a look at all of the cards, whatever deck you like. Remember, they're not fortune-telling cards. We were looking at this bunch before. I don't know if we were all here, but I was talking about the idea of what an oracle card deck. This is a really pretty one if you're into Celtic mythology and northern kind of stuff. Just very Irish and very pretty, and I like it. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can look at this anytime, by the way, anytime. It'll be up on Facebook. It'll be up on YouTube. I'm going to put all the links up once I'm done here today, and you can have the whole month to just look at them all. All right, so reversals real quick. When something is upright, it is, as we've discussed. And also every one of these interpretations, this is like the standard interpretation I'm giving you, but you can go, what you see is what you see, and what you believe these cards mean is really up to you, because all these are just touchstones, a way for you to get into the psyche of the person you're reading and or yourself. So if orange means to you, or red means to you not passion or blood, but means to you, balloons and puppies, it doesn't matter. Whatever it means to you is how you read, but you'll get that as you go on. Reversals just mean the opposite of what the card means. So in other words, if I have the Fool card, and he is starting his new life and a new journey and the beginning of something important, and he's starting a new road, and I get him like this, he's not starting a new road. He's stalled in his journey. Things are very slow, and he's frustrated, and he can't get going. He can't incarnate. It can't happen. So I have a new business, and I go to a reader, and I say, will it work? And they get that card reversed. They're going to say to me, nope, not yet. Take your time. You have things to do first. You have karma to get through first before you can go on the road. And that's basically it. So if you want to take out your 21 major arcana now, during this next month, not this minute, or now if you want, but during this next month before the next bunch come in, then take them out and start looking at them both upright and then reversed. And then see what you see. And those are the cards I would use to read for 30 days. I would say now you've gotten to a place, if you've gotten through the series to this point, that you've gotten through the days, and you can, the whole deck, arcana, the major arcana, and you can start to look at them and read and interpret. I'm going to find, well, I don't have to find it. This I can tell you, and then I'll find something. I'll find the Celtic Cross for you in a moment, and I will send you a link for that. So you can read with one card. You can shuffle your major arcana, pull them out of the rest of the deck, read with one card, and lay it down on the table and see what it is. The first time you do it, I might read it upright, no matter how it falls. And then I may do one card the next day, and then try to do, if it falls reversed, what does it mean? The opposite of, what does it mean upright? What could it mean reversed? I would try to ask questions as well. So I would get maybe an answer, and I would start writing them down. This is the full card. I got it on Tuesday, and it was reversed. This meant blank, blank, I think. And that day I had this happen. Whatever. You don't have to write it down. You can speak it into a microphone, or you can type it into a Word document or share it on the blog. It doesn't really matter, as long as you try to keep a track of it. And then I would add 2 cards. Maybe the next week I would add 2 cards and say, okay, I want to know about my boss and my relationship with her, and see what that would be, and see what those cards are from the major arcana only. And then 3 cards, 4 cards. After 4 cards, you're kind of ready to read a more common and complicated spread. This is called the Celtic Cross, and this is the most common. So I'm getting crosses. This is the most common tarot reading spread ever. So I'm going to get it, and then you can see it. Now, again, what I may say it is, somebody else may say something differently, and it really doesn't matter. It's going to matter in the end what you want it to be, but it's the basic layout of these cards. So, no, I don't like that one. I'm looking for one that makes any sense. Great, this is good. So here's one. This is an idea. I'm not saying this is the only idea. Again, this is a creative. Hi, Brian Brewer. This is a creative undertaking. All right. So you take your time and you see what they might mean to you. So on that link, if you see it there, I have shuffled my cards, and I have asked my question. In this case, only the major arcana, because we haven't gone beyond that. Don't go beyond that unless you really want to. All right. So you have shuffled your cards, and you have thought your idea, and your question is ready to go, and you lay out your cards. And first card down, you see in that picture, is the what's going on here, what's happening, what's the thing that's happening right now, what is that first card. For another card on top of that, this is the card that covers this. This is the card of the challenge. This is the card of what's on top of you. Another card, cross it. Here's your cross. What are the challenges? What are the things that are stopping it? Below, you'll see this in the drawing. What's gone on so far? Or what are the influences around this question? Or why are you asking this question? That's on the bottom of this cross. The left, now in this case it says immediate future. So I'd like to know why the immediate future is behind. So I don't read it like that. If you want to, you may. I always say this card to the left is the past, the very near past, what just happened regards to this question. Then on top of the cross, what's crowning you? That's what I first learned, the words, what's crowning you? In other words, what's on your head? What are you thinking about? What are you wanting? What are you worried about also? In front of that, on the right, we have, in my case, I don't know why it's the past in this drawing. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. In this case, I would say, it says distant past. In my case, I would say, what's coming up for you? What's next? What might happen regarding this? And then you have 4 cards on the right side of the cross. So the cross is completed. And on the right, you have the bottom card can be what could happen here, and why are you asking this question, and what is the outcome that you want, and what do you desire. Next, you have it says hopes and fears in this reading, which is fine, but I always read that card as what are the influences around you? What do your family and friends and coworkers think about the situation? The next one up to me would be hopes and fears. And I would reverse those two, but it really doesn't matter. And then final outcome is the last card. So any way you want to use this kind of a spread has to become your own. It doesn't have to be the way I say it. It doesn't have to be the way that other people might say it. It has to be the way you see it. Okay, but that's a basic layout. And if you want to poke around, and like I said so many times today, We are so lucky that we have the internet, because when I started reading cards with my grandma, there was no internet in the 60s. So when I was a very little girl, I learned by her hand. And I think that that's a good thing to do. There's in New York City, there's a tarot school, and they have really cool meetups. I have not yet gotten a chance to get to one. I'm always not available when they're doing it, but they have these like weekend things where people just come and read cards and talk to each other about it. And the more you can hang out with other card readers and when you're learning to read, the better, because you guys can like debate things until you're exhausted and learn from each other. Oh, I see this like this, but I see this like this, but what about this? And if you get other people to read for you and with you, that's fantastic. And also, I would say right now you have 21 cards in your package. You have the major arcana, so you're ready to start really reading people now. That's you don't need the minor arcana to read tarot cards. You need the major arcana. That's the most important thing. And by the way, when we start mixing cards and have the minor arcana starting next month, I'll start saying to you, if you have major cards in a reading, it's a major life's thing. It's a major choice. It's a major decision. It's a major time in their lives. It's a major time in your life when you start seeing the larger, more powerful cards. Right now, you have the magic in your hands. This is the magic of the tarot. This is the Kabbalic magic of the tarot, the Egyptian magic of the tarot in your hands, these first 21 cards. So if you haven't seen all 4 of these, this is the 4th in the series on the major arcana. Take your time. They're all an hour long. I talk incessantly, and they're fun. And I show you all these 3 decks and in relation to each other, and to really help you see the symbolism of them. When I go forward now into the minor arcana, I'm just going to use the Rider-Waite deck because I don't need to start dealing with a whole bunch of other pictures. I just need to tell you the basic meanings of those cards. Those are pretty simple. But now that you have these 21 Power Pack magic cards, and you can start, there's a thing you collect called magic cards, right? This is different. Now that you have these cards and understand some about these cards, it's time to really start using these cards. So get your friends over, give them a glass of wine or something, and sit them down and make them be your guinea pigs and say, I need to practice reading tarot cards. And I would really suggest that you, if you have anything going on in your life, which we all do at all times, sit down with these 21 cards and read every day. Just shuffle and read. Shuffle and read every day, maybe morning and night. One of the ways I learned tarot cards was just by reading tarot cards. When I first started reading tarot cards, I had a book. Maybe I got a book somehow in my 20s, and I thought I was going to memorize them based on this book. Okay, so I looked at the book, and the book was like what I'm telling you. There was symbolism and color and ideas. And then I started to refer to that book to read. And I was reading, I had told a story last month about this lady. When I was a bartender, she used to come into my bar every day, and she found out I was a card reader, and she was a card reader, and she was super advanced. And she would say to me, let's go take the cards out. And I would say, oh, I don't know what it means, and I'm not sure. I have to look it up. And she would say, no, what do you see? Doesn't matter what you think it is. It matters what you see. So I suggest that's a good way to go, to say, let me learn the symbolism in here, because it's really fun and it's really cool. And it opens up avenues of study for you and meditation and just different kinds of thought you may never have had because you hadn't been exposed to it. And it gives you so much power. The more education you have on a subject, of course, the more power you have on that with the thing that you're using. Tarot cards are a tool. So the more you understand the tool, the better you are with it. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock. That's my cuckoo clock telling me. But anyway, so once you're starting to feel like you understand the symbolism, then you say, okay, now I'm going to ignore the symbolism that was told to me, and I'm going to say what it means only to me based on what I see. So that's it. Tarot card day is over for me and for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will, as I said before, put this link up on both my Magic Apothecary group and my tarot group, as well as others, and then I will have it on YouTube and on my website as well. And you can just take your time and look at it all you like. Thank you guys for being here. It was really a pleasure to have such cool people with me today at the end of my Major Arcana Day. Pass the word on to people that this is here, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Many blessings and namaste.